Hello everyone, welcome. Today we're going to take a look at Steel Mountain, which is a reference from the TV show or the TV series Mr. Robot. Let's get started. According to the room description, we are supposed to hack into a Mr. Robot theme Windows machine, use Metasploit for initial access, utilize PowerShell for Windows privilege escalation, enumeration, and learn a new technique to get administrator access. As you can already see, some of the answers are already here. That is because when I was doing this, my connection got cut up, so I had to stop recording, and I was already halfway doing the machine. So that's why some of my answers are already populated. But I will start from the beginning, so you guys can see how I got these answers. So let's get started. Like always, we're gonna do an nmap scan. Since I already have the VPN running, I'm not gonna do that. We can just ping the machine to see if we can connect to it. You know, let me save the IP address first. Okay, we can ping the machine. That is a good sign. Okay, so now let's do our nmap scan. Let's see, deploy the machine. Who is the employee of the month? Let's run an nmap. We're gonna do nmap. We're gonna keep it basic today, and then the IP address. That's it. All right, let me save it into something. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do this machine without visiting the web page or web browser or whatever it is that we have to do. I'm gonna try to see if I can do the whole thing just by in the command line. Okay, let's see who is the employee of the month. Initial access. Okay, and then we have task number 3, which is privilege escalation. If you haven't seen the TV show about Mr. Robot, I suggest or recommend that you give it a shot. It's a very nice TV show. I mean, there's not a lot of shooting and fighting, but it's very interesting. Okay, our skin is almost done. It's 97.72% done. So soon enough, we're gonna get the result. Come on, any day now. Okay, here we go. As you can see, we don't have a lot of interesting thing going on. We have port 80 open. We have 135, 139, 445. Nothing interesting going on with this port. We have 3389, which is RDP. Same thing, nothing of interest. I mean, we do have some information about the machine, the host name, Steel Mountain, NetBIOS name, and product time. We do have another HTTP running on port 8080, and we have a bunch of unknown port. Okay, so first question asks us, deploy the machine. Who is the employee of the month? Okay, we can do some enumeration over here without doing too much. Let me clear this since I have it saved. We can do wget. to look at the source page of port 80. We're gonna do -q, capital O, and HTTP, the IP address. Hopefully that worked. Perfect. So this is the source page. Like, let's say we were to type this IP address in the browser, and we navigate to the web page, we right click and check source. This will be the page that we see in the information. As you can see, this is it. There's an image from this line. You can see there is an image, width, height of the image, and we can see the name of the name of the image. It's a PNG. It's in PNG format, and the first question that they ask us, who is the employee of the month, and here we go. You have employee of the month is Bill Hopper, which is also a character from the TV series, the TV show. Okay, this is how I got the first answer to the question. Let's keep it moving. Task number 2, initial access. Scan the machine with Nmap. What is the other port running a web server on? So if we take a look at our Nmap scan again, we can see the other web server is running on port 8080. There you go. Okay, now question number 3, take a look at the other web server, what file server is running. Okay, same thing. I'm going to try not to visit any web page or anything like that. I'm just gonna stay over here. We can do what web and then the IP address, and then the port, which is 8080. So what web pretty much is gonna analyze the website or the web page, whatever we provided, is gonna analyze it and give us some basic information of what's going on. So as you can see, we have 200 response code. That's good. That means the website or web page, web server is functioning. We have a cookie for HFS, stand for HTTP file server. So we do have a file server going on. Country reserved, means they're using a private or reserved IP address. So as you can see, we do have a HTTP file server running on the IP address, which is 10.10.212.179, and then you have a jQuery and script text.java, and the title is HFS in the root. We can dig a little bit deeper. We can do a curl -v, the IP address and the port to get some more information. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, they're using a doc type. The cookie that we saw, HTTP file server, it's running version 2.3. Also give us a 200 response code back. If we look, we're not seeing anything of importance. If we keep scrolling down, still nothing. Connection 0 to host left intact. Okay, this section right there is very important to us because we can see we have a Rigetto HTTP file server going on, running port on version 2.3, and they ask us for question number 2, take a look at the other web server, what file server is running. We can take a good guess. It's Rigetto HTTP file server 2.3. I mean, to verify, we can also visit the web page or the file server, I should say. Let's visit it. 80. 8080. So there you go. You see, we do have HTTP file server running version 2.3, which I'm pretty sure there's a vulnerable. It is exploitable. There's a weakness for it. We can dig deeper and see what we can find. If we click on it, it's the same thing that we saw on this page: http://hfs, same thing, and hfs HTTP file server. So put one and one together. That's how we got our answer to question number 2. And what is the CVE number to exploit this file server? Okay, we have option. We can check exploit.db. Oops. Exploit.db, which is a database of exploit that you can look at to see what you can use to gain access to not gain access, to try to evaluate your privileges based on misconfiguration. Or we can use searchploit, which is a command line tool, which is like a copy of exploit.db with the same type of information. So let's do searchploit. Let me clean the screen. Let's do searchploit. Let's do Rigetto. As you can see, we do have a couple of exploit that we can use. And if we visit exploit.db and we type Rigetto, we should get somewhat the same information. Voila, the same thing. So we have Rigetto HTTP file server 2.3 remote common execution, arbitrary file upload, multiple vulnerabilities, and so forth and so forth and so on. But we can see there's only one module for Metasploit. Just like here is the same thing. Let's take a look. What is the CVE number to exploit this file server? So if we take a look here and we click on any of them, we should get a CVE. If I click on here, we should get a CVE. We should get the author, type, platform, and then the exploit, the title, and what's going on. Meaning, I'm not good with Python, so I'm not really sure what's going on in here. But we can also get the same thing over here. So if you were to take, I don't know which one I just clicked on. Let's see, remote code execution. We have two. We have remote code. Okay, this is a .txt, so it's probably not that one. So it's probably that one that I'm looking at. So we can do the same thing. We can do search exploit -x, and then the location, which is Windows remote 391.61.py. So the same thing, give us like somewhat the same information. Or maybe it's not exactly this one, but the same information can be found here. The same thing, we still have the CVE. We should have an author somewhere. Maybe not this one. Oh yeah, there you go. We should have an author. We have a date, and but we can do the same thing for the rest. Let's see, searchploit. Oh, let's check out the bottom one and see. Let's do, it's gonna be web app. Is this a web app? Not sure. Yeah, but you can pretty much do the same thing for all of them. It should let you read the content of the file. Let's go back and see what the question answered. What is the CVE? So yeah, the CVE for pretty much, if you click on any of these, they all should have about the same CVE, I believe. I didn't click on all of them, so don't take my word for it, but you can give it a try yourself and click on all of them and view the content So the CVE number is 214.62.87, which is over here, CVE 214.62.87, and use Metasploit to get an initial shell. What is the user flag? I believe out of all of these, we're not gonna use Python. We're not gonna use .txt. This is probably the Metasploit one. Let's verify that real quick before I start Metasploit. Let's do Windows remote 349 26.orb. Yep, there you go. This module requires Metasploit, and the same information can be found in here as well. We have the same CVE, we have a URL, we should have an author somewhere. Oh, there's no author for this one. I mean, we do have two names, but maybe these are the authors. Danielle, I'm not even gonna bother pronounce this, and Muhammad. Okay, well, that's enough. All right, now let's start Metasploit so we can get the initial shell. We can do sudo msf console. Okay, we can search, same thing with Jetto. We only have two modules we can use. We have one that is HTTP file server unauthenticated remote code execution. I don't think that's the one. And then we have module 1, which is HTTP file server remote command execution. I'm pretty sure this is the one that we need. Yeah, I didn't see anything about unauthenticated remote code execution anywhere. Okay, so let's use number 1. We can type use. We can use the name or we can use the number. So let's use the number because it's faster. Use 1. Let me clear that. Okay, now we can type options to view the option that we need to input. We need the host, which is the target IP address. It should be this. Our port, which is 8080. We need to change the SRV port because they both cannot be running the same or listening on the same port. And the last thing that we need is the L host, which is the machine that the listen address and interface may be specified. Okay, we can start setting them up. We can do set L host. We can just type tone 0. We can set our host, which is 10.10.212.179. We can set SRV port. We're gonna set that to 9090. Anything but 8080, but I'm just choosing 9090. And the last thing that we need is the R port. Set R port. You can type them in capital and lowercase. It doesn't matter how you type them. And that would be 8080. So now we can verify our options to see if everything is set. Lhost, that's the tunnel IP address. We have the SRV port, which is the local port to listen on. We change that to 9090. We have the R port 8080 and host which is the target machine, 10.10.2.12.179. So we can give this a try, and if everything set accordingly, we should get a Metasploit session. Let's do run. Perfect. So now that we have a Metasploit, we need to get the user flag. This is not stable, but we can manage. If we type pwd, that should let us know where we are. We are all the way in startup, and we need to be in users build desktop. I think that's where they usually store the those flags, like root flag usually in root desktop or the root directory. So we need to go all the way back. I'm pretty sure there might be an easy way to go all the way back to C, but I didn't take a look at what that is. So the only way I know to get back is by doing this. Let me double check, where am I? Oh, one more. Now we should be in build. Now if we type the cd desktop, now we should be in build desktop. Now if we type dir, we should see we have a user.txt. So to be able to read the content, we need to spawn a shell, because we won't be able to read it. I'm sure there's also a way to read it, but I don't know what that is. But we're gonna spawn a shell, which gonna give us a shell. Perfect. And now we can type user.txt. Okay, so now that's the flag for build, which is the what is the user flag? There you go. So now we all caught up. Now we can move to task number 3 together. Now that you have an initial shell on this Windows machine, as build, we can further enumerate the machine and escalate our privileges to root. To enumerate this machine, we will use a PowerShell script called PowerUp. That's purpose is to evaluate a Windows machine and determine any abnormalities. PowerUp aim to be a clearing house of common Windows privilege escalation vectors that rely on misconfiguration. Okay, I've never used it before, but it does sound like it's similar to LinPs for Linux. So I don't think I have it in my machine. Do I have PowerUp anywhere? Let's double check. Oh, okay, actually I do. But I don't want it to be in my desktop though. Let me put it somewhere that doesn't have anything. There's things everywhere. Well, you know what? Let me create a special folder for this. Let's do make there. Let's call this X. Now we can set we can move desktop power up, and then that for current directory. Well, no, that won't work because I'm not even in the X directory. Let's do cdx. Now let's do mv desktop power up. Now we can just type the dot, which will move it to the current directory, which is X. Now if we check, we should have it here, and if we look in our desktop, it should no longer be there. cd desktop plus, okay, no power up. Okay, let's keep it moving. Okay, you can download the script here. I already have it. To execute this using Metasploit, I will type load PowerShell into Metasploit, then I will enter PowerShell by entering PowerShell shell. Okay, let's do that. Let's get back to our Metasploit. We need to background this by pressing Ctrl Z. Yes. Now we can do, where are we? Desktop. Let's go back to see this. I'm gonna create a directory to put the power up. One more. Let's create a directory called temp. Oh. Now we can get into temp. Now okay, yeah, we need to upload. So I think the power up is, we're gonna type upload home .c desktop. I don't think it's at the desktop though. Is it at the desktop? I don't even remember. Let's see where this is. Oh, it's in home Kali X. Okay. Oh, I'm not using my other machine. Okay, I guess X. Let's make sure. Home Kali X. Okay. Oh, and then the name of the script, which is power PS1, which is the extension for PowerShell script. Okay, great. As you can see, it's uploaded. We can verify that by typing there. We have power up. Now they want us to run it by invoke all checks. Okay, we can do that. First, we need to get back to our PowerShell shell. We can type load PowerShell. And then we're gonna type PowerShell shell. Perfect. Once you see the PS, we are in PowerShell. Now we can type this to run it. PowerShell, no, not PowerShell, power up that PS1. We're not gonna get anything in return. Next, we're gonna type invoke all checks. Okay, perfect. Now we get a bunch of services we can take advantage of to escalate our privileges, to find weakness in the system. And okay, now let's see. Take closer attention to the can restart option that is set to true. What is the name of the service which show up as an unquoted service path vulnerability? If we look at all the service name, we do have Advanced System Care Service 9. Can start is true. I mean, if we keep going, pretty much all the Advanced System Care Service 9 or can we start true. If we scroll all the way down, we get this service name, AWS Lead Agent. Can start is false, meaning we cannot restart it. Yep, pretty much everything else can restart is set to false. Oh, what is this? Cancel. Okay, so the only service that can restart is the Advanced System Care Service 9. So there you go, that's the answer. Now the can restart option being true allows us to restart a service on the system. The directory to the application is also writable This means we can replace the legitimate application with our malicious one. Restart the service, which will run our infected program. Use MS Venom to generate a reverse shell a, as an as a Windows executable. Okay, simple enough. So pretty much they wanted us to look for a service we could restart, because if we cannot restart the service, there's not much we can do. Even if we were able to modify whatever is inside of it, because we can restart it, the stuff that we put inside will never run, so it will be useless. So that's why if we can restart the service, then we can rerun it. Whatever we put inside, the next time we run the service is what is going to run. So let's create our payload. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm gonna just paste it here. I'm gonna make a small, I'm gonna leave the port as is. Small modification. I'm just gonna replace this with the IP address of the tunnel IP address, and I don't know what that is. We can do IP-A-S ton 0. It always says there's no ton 0, but I know there is. I know there is a ton or tune 0, which is copy. Wait, did I lose connection to the machine? Oh yeah, I can't use the IP because I'm in a different shell session. Let's do ping 10 dot 10 212 179. Okay, we are still in good shape. Let's close. Okay, so let's copy this again just to make sure we got it. Copy. Let's go back to our payload. I'm gonna paste it and make sure everything is set correctly. We have MSF Venom -P stand for payload. We're using a Windows reverse shell TCP or shell reverse TCP, and we're setting a listening host, and then a listening port, which is 443. It is gonna be an executable. Payload architecture is 86 Shikata Gana. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Which is to make the payload a little bit harder to detect. And the -F I think is for file type, which is gonna be an exe service, and then -O we're gonna save it in a file named advanced exe. Okay. Now you can press enter. I think everything is set. Okay, perfect. We have our payload. We can verify that. It's right here, advanced.exe. We're gonna do the same thing we did before. We're gonna copy it into the machine. And for us to do that, we have to background the Metasploit session again by pressing Ctrl Z. Yes. And now we're gonna type upload. Let's verify. Okay, I'm still in team. All right. We're gonna type upload home Kali X advance. Let's verify advance. Okay. Okay, now our payload is uploaded. We can see that it is right there. So let me open a netcat session. If everything worked accordingly, LVNP 443, we should get another session right here. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to get to into our PowerShell again. We're gonna type PowerShell shell. What? Yeah, I'm always misspelling things. Okay, let's read. What do they want us to do? Okay, upload your binary and replace the legitimate one, then reset the program. Okay, we can do that. Let's type powered shell. So now, before we can modify the service, we need to stop it first. We can do that by type stop service, and the name of this service, I believe, is over here. You can just copy. We can type paste. Yep. Perfect. The service is. Let me see. Let me look. Let me check something real quick. Let me check something real quick. It's not even here. Oh God. Okay, I didn't save it, I guess. Is it on? It's not even on Sublime. Okay, well, never mind. All right. Okay, so now that we stopped the service, we need to copy our payload inside of it. We can do that by simply type copy. Let me see. Okay, we can type copy, advance, exe, and now we need to specify the path of the service, I believe. Is that what they want us to do? Upload your binary and replace it. Okay. So this is the path. So we need to copy this. We're gonna enclose it with parentheses. And then we're gonna paste. Oh God. That's not correct though. Oh, you know what? The string is missing a terminator. Of course. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do copy. Alright, this time I guess I'm gonna have to put the double quotation first. Copy. Advance.exe. Alright, let me do that so there's no confusion. You know what? Oh, this is hard. Okay, well, let's do. Why does it run though? That makes no sense. It should not be running when I paste. And I cannot press the back key to get inside of the quotation mark. Is there a way I can paste this? Oh, let's maybe this same thing. Well, there has to be a way I can copy this without it running. Well, maybe let's try paste. Can we edit this? Oh yeah, okay, we can. All right. Okay, we can. So let's get rid of this. Let's do paste. Let's edit this. Let's put the quotation mark in here. And now we're gonna paste. What just happened? Something. Let me see. Oh, okay. Now, okay. I thought something went wrong, but nothing happened. Okay, I need to restart the service. And then, if everything goes according to plan, we shall get another shell. We can do net start and the service name, which is advanced, which is this. Perfect. Everything goes accordingly because I can see this little red on the name flashing red. That's mean we have a reverse shell, which I'm excited about though. So now everything did work. So now we can go. As you can see, we do have another shell, but this time this one is gonna be with full administrative control over the machine, because if I type OMI, we're gonna get NC authority, which is the highest privilege you can get on a Windows machine. And if we, you know what, let me get the root flag first before I mess this up. Okay, now we can go to same thing. We can do CD. We can go all the way back. You can see there CD users, and then there. Nope, we're gonna do CD administrator, and then we're gonna say top. I'm way ahead of myself. There, CD desktop. There again. Now we have our root.txt. Now we can type root.txt, and this is our final flag. So because we have administrative right, so we can paste that here. We can do submit. Now if I go back here and I do there and I do CD back there and I try to go to the administrator folder, let's see what's gonna happen. CD user, and then let's do CD admin. Yep, we cannot view the file inside of it because permission denied. We cannot. And if I type who am I, can I type who am I? If I type who am I, as you can see, we just regular Bill, still Mountain Bill. We're just a regular user with no extra privileges. But on the other shell that we receive, if I type who am I, you can see we are NC authority system, and we can do pretty much whatever we want. So this is the end of this machine. I mean, they do want us to access and escalate without Metasploit. I don't think that's necessary. I'm not gonna do that. It's not required because we got the root flag. I can just type complete. I can just answer this question, which is what PowerShell C command could we run to manually. We can do this by typing I think it should be PowerShell C quad get service. Perfect. So there you go. That's the answer to this question. I'm not gonna do that, but you guys, whoever have premium, like if you have a premium account, because I don't think this is a free machine, you can do it. We can mark this complete, and congratulations. This will be the last video I posted for a while, because the way I post my room or based on bigger room. Well, I don't know if that makes sense. What I mean by that is, if you go here and learn, the room I was doing, which is I think it's complete now. I was doing this. I was doing complete beginner. So if I click in complete beginner and you scroll all the way at the bottom, you see all of these are the rooms that I did, which is basic computer exploration. So before I post any more room, I'm probably going to try another room. I don't know which one yet. I might try offensive security. Let me see. Do they have anything interesting? Well, okay, I might try this one because it seems like they do have a couple of room that I can post. They have Hackpack, Alfred, Skynet. They have Overpass. I believe all of these are room that caught Mr. Robot CTF Vitro. Okay, so I'm going to, once I finish doing the offensive pen testing one, I'll post these room. Maybe I might post the whole thing. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for watching. It was a pleasure. I hope you guys learned something. Until next time, bye bye.